Alright, and welcome to another Wargame European Escalation multiplayer match. I'm DigitalAdhesive, and today I'm doing kind of a weird game. This is a 3,000 point game, and I'm only used to playing 1,500, maybe 2,000 tops. So this was kind of an odd situation for me. My normal plan of attack on this map, and let me just speed things up a little bit here, is to take the center, to put the bulk of my resources and forces toward the center map, and then maybe put some forces in Bravo or Charlie to get a second reinforcement point. But with this many points, with 3,000 points to toss around, I decide to go all out with command vehicles. And so I bring one up to Delta, one up to Charlie, and I may have only gotten 3 to start. I don't remember exactly. We'll see. Let's take a look here. What do I have? Yeah, I only send some token forces over here. I load some special forces up in helicopters to put them in the Echo Forest, along with a scout helicopter. And so the plan is to take the center, and I don't know what my opponent is going to do with 3,000 points. I mean, you can go in a lot of different directions. So I have a pretty standard build here, at least again standard for myself. I have some anti-tank infantry to stick in the town here, and maybe spread out throughout the forest. I have some T-80s. I have a couple of Shrums. I have some Conkers, and yeah, 1, 2, 3. I guess I didn't get a 4th. I probably should have, but I was a little worried about spreading myself too thin with command vehicles, having never played a game this big. Now, I'm worried that he's going to be rushing, so I decide to take a chance to start shelling the approach to the bridge with 4 Danas, just 'cause. Now, the reason this game is worth mentioning isn't because it was a particularly interesting game in and of itself, but my opponent goes all out with artillery. He has, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He ends up with 16 pieces of artillery total, and the lesson of this game is that I don't care how many people whine or bitch about using artillery as sort of like an I win button. Like I said, I played games in the past where I've been chewed out for using 4 Danas in a 1,500 point game, as if that was some kind of like crime that wasn't, très chic or whatever for the game. There's some sort of unwritten rule that you can't use artillery. And I'm here to say that is utterly bullshit. Now, this person doesn't use any MLRSs, but he has 16 pieces of artillery, and he shells the high holy hell out of my island here. And I thought about, maybe this is a big deal. Maybe I need to, try and root out his artillery. Maybe, I'm in trouble. But I spread my forces out, and I figure, you know what? If he spent that many points on 16 artillery pieces, that's points that he's not spending on armor, on infantry, on helicopters, on you name it. So I'm just going to play my normal game. I'm going to wait out the storm, and I might lose a Kolos here and there. I might lose, a Conkers, whatever. That's fine. I'm not going to freak out about that. I'm just going to hunker down and play the game the way I normally would. Alright, so I've got Charlie. I've got forces in Echo, and I probably, if I'd known he was going to do this, I probably would have sent another command vehicle right into Golf and just get the points rolling. Now, he sends some Martyrs down here, and I've got a pretty good angle on this bridge. I've got a Havoc up there, got my T-80, 2 T-80s, 2 T-80Us, my Conkers. He makes it to the tree line. I have some PTUR Conkers here, along with their transport. And so this doesn't really go too far. He gets some troops out, but I'm not really going to spend a whole bunch of time rooting them out of the forest, especially because they're not recon troops. They can't really see that far. You know, if you switch to his perspective here, he can't see a damn thing. And if he goes up to the tree line so he can't see a damn thing, I can see him, and I can kill him pretty much instantly. So you see, look at all this artillery fire coming down. Now, don't get me wrong, artillery fire is effective, but it's only really effective, in my limited experience at least, if you have good recon, if you know what you're shooting at. If you can target in, you fire those offals, you fire those Danas, then you can do some real damage. But if you're just blind firing, it really is kind of a crapshoot. I see his artillery here, and I get too close. I take one of them out, but my Havoc takes some pretty bad damage, and I decide I don't want to deal with that, and I get routed regardless. But aside from that, it's not an aggressive game. This person doesn't really put the screws down on me. He just wants to, you know, fire his artillery and see if it works, see if he can win the game that way. And I'm going to speed up a little bit, just because this game is not the most interesting, aside from the points that I'm trying to make here. He chases me around with some helicopters a little bit, and we're playing 3,000 points, and it's a 30-minute game. I return fire with artillery. I don't really try and outshoot him that much, because, I mean, he's got 16 artillery pieces, and, you know, my artillery is there because I figure in a game this big, you know, why not get 4 pieces? So I do some random shots here and there, just hoping I get lucky. He's got 2 places to bring troops in. I don't know which one is the primary concentration, but you can see not much is happening here. Now I finally leave Alpha, and I bring my original, because I've got 2 reinforcement zones, and so I bring my command armor and my Tunguska up to Golf, and I leave one of my original Tungustas over here to guard my artillery and my FOB, just in case he decides to swing down there with a helicopter. And again, I'm just doing a little bit of random artillery shelling here, but you can see he's had 16 artillery pieces zeroed in on me, 15 now because I took one out, and I'm ahead by 535 points to his 185 because he hasn't supported his artillery at all. He hasn't done anything aside from send a few IFVs across this bridge. You know, he took out, he did some damage to some Motostrelki, whatever. You know, it's not going to help him. And again, now that I got Golf, the points are just rolling in. He brings in a couple of Apaches. I've got plenty of cover with just a couple of Tunguskas. That's it. Apaches are dead. Just by playing a nice standard opening, making sure I'm well-rounded. I catch these martyrs, and my artillery focuses in on them because I see them, and I can actually focus in pretty closely. My Havoc here whittles his Panzer Grenadiers down to 1 unit, or 1 man in that unit. Takes a little bit of small arms fire, but nothing to really be concerned about. My Conkers are out of missiles, and I start bringing my Kolos up, and I've got bringing a couple of bucks just because I can with my extra points. And because of the helicopter rush, now 1,223 points to 323, just from those Apaches alone, and, you know, whatever small bits he's fed me along the way. So I have absolutely no reason to press an attack. I'm doing fine. We got half the game left. I'm not out to impress anyone. I don't need to make some sort of bold move. What I do have is 8, 9, 10, 12 points per tick coming in. So I'm just setting up a perfect defense. I'm stacking my defense, and I'm making sure that any attacks that he makes on my position, he gets punished for, and punished for in a very asymmetrical, lopsided way in my favor. You know, again, he might take out a Kolos or a Conkers, or, you know, even like a Tunguska here and there, but the price he pays for it is not worth it at all. Now over here, my MI2 catches his 4 Saracens, and I guess he's got I'm trying to learn the icons here. I guess that's like a blowpipe anti-air launcher troops, which is fine. I've got a T-80A over here to support my Havoc and my Special Forces. These transport helicopters should probably be moved off at some point. They're kind of just worthless right there. But I'm not too worried about a big assault here, although he does have a reinforcement point right here. Though I am, again, beating him far and wide in reinforcement points. And I'm spreading myself pretty even. And just because I'm thinking that maybe he is pulling in reinforcements over here, I start blind shelling Foxtrot. And here comes the artillery fire again. At nothing. Speed up a little bit. Bring in more reinforcements from Charlie over to Golf and Delta. I catch sight of those Saracens now. And my artillery comes down, takes out 2 of them. I guess maybe I didn't see them before with this Mi-2. Otherwise I would have started shelling them earlier. But something happened over here, made this Mi-2 saw them, and this one didn't. And so now 2 are dead, 2 of them are running on fire, and I pull up my T-80A right here, just in case. And there's a hill here, so I can't really see, I can't get a shot on him with my T-80A. So I just sort of pull up, now I ease back a little bit, wait for him to creep up along the hill. I don't even bother sending the Havoc in. Boom. Boom. Dead. 3 lad blowpipes survive for about 2 seconds. And that's all she wrote with that push. Now he's sneaking a scout helicopter around here, which one of my bucks picks off, or my Tunguska's. 1641 to 354. Again, just waiting it out, because all those points went in artillery. He didn't have enough to do anything, and I've got a ridiculously secure position here. The only approach is over these bridges, which I have locked down really well. The center is strong. No air is getting through unscathed. I still need to rearm these Conkers, though, which that was a mistake. That was definitely a mistake on my side. I guess perhaps I get a little complacent. More artillery fire, more troops coming in, anti-tank team, more battle tanks, more. I move my artillery up here just because there's no reason not to. And I abandon really the last vestiges of Alpha at this point. There's a recon vehicle pulling up here. Takes some shots at my helicopter, takes it out. My attention was elsewhere, and my VPZUs return fire, and then pull back a little bit. The Havoc comes in, having none of it. Oh, that Lux does have some nice cannon shots on it. But he's really pushing his luck with his scout vehicle. Normally when I use scouts, I pull them up into a forest and I turn their weapons off, because unless for an emergency, there's no reason for them to be opening fire and giving their position away. Now he comes out of the forest, my T-80B and T-80A, exchange a few shots with him. He brings in 2 Leopards over here. The Leopard 2s are really scary tanks, by the way. They are terrifying. Have a sip of my coffee. And the Lux is creeping up, and he's using it like an attack vehicle. You know, again, I already said this, but yeah. You want to take your recon, stick it in the woods, and pretend it isn't there. And now he starts shelling. Or no, is that me? Oh yeah, I think I took a few shots over at it with my artillery, but I had already killed him when those shots were in the air. So he pulls these Leopard 2s up with 6 minutes to go, 1868 to 524. And everyone's just sort of chilling, you know, taking a look at the big picture here. I have really good map control. I'm actually out of command units, which is kind of sad. It'd be nice to pick up Bravo, but you know, what are you going to do? I'm not going to complain. And yeah, he still firing the artillery, not doing much of anything. The Leopards come out. The T-80s open fire. Exchange T-80 for Leopard 2. Not much really to say about that. .2053 to 674. Pull the recon helicopter back. I know his Leopard 2 was there. Don't really care that much. And he brings 4 Abrams out over here to do a push on Charlie. And I think at this point, you know, he was just screwing around trying to get rid of these points. I mean, there's not much that can be done this late in the game. So I got some Conquerors in here, along with you know, some BMPs. My recon gets beat up pretty badly. Speed picks up a little bit. And so, in come the Havocs, as usual. And the Abrams do a pretty good job of cleaning up the Conquerors. And some artillery shots come in. I don't know if I'm out of ammo or if I've lost a couple of Danas. Oh, I still have 4 Danas. I guess they're just pretty low on ammunition because only one seems to be firing here. And so they put some pressure and some damage on the Abrams. Again, the Danas are wonderful. Very, very accurate. And faced with either staying there under constant shelling, here come all the shots, or moving, he decides to move, and to move forward. The Conquerors and the T-80A open fire. There's 2 Havocs there, which also open fire, and it's just a slaughter. Poor Cole. So Ames is routed, and I bring the Havoc around to catch him on the other side of the forest, or right there. And no more Abrams. 26-23 to 876. He's got 4 more Leopard 2s over here now. He's just going all in with the tank attack, with 1:55 left. Leopards pull up into the northern Echo Forest, driving past the BPZUs, who open fire, and they take 1 out. Not a bad exchange. They're dead, but, you know, hey, for a Leopard, I'll take it. And now the normal exchange occurs with him moving out of the forest, firing at my units that are out downrange and acting in a defensive role. He goes to work on the DMP 685s, which are no match for his Leopards. And my helicopters here, I have a bunch of Mi-24s, open fire with their ATGMs and rockets. As the last seconds of the match wind down. And there we go. 3,008 points to 1018. So yeah, not the most exciting of matches. Essentially, I grab a position and I hold it. But again, I thought it was worth putting up there just because I hate the artillery is everything argument, and you know, artillery is the I win button. It's not. It really isn't. You know, when you get artillery, you're sacrificing other units, and unless you support the artillery, you're not going to do well. If you have a balanced army and artillery that is supported by other units, you can do quite well. I've done it, and I've had it done to me. But this all-in aspect, I do not recommend it. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. As always, rate, comment, subscribe. You know, talk to me. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like to see. And until next time, I'm Digital Adhesive, and thank you very much for watching. Take care.